back with a makeup tutorial. It has been so long since I have filmed one, and I figured it would be a good way to get back into the groove by using this new Huda Beauty. This is the rose gold edition of the Textured Shadows palette. I'm gonna have a video with some swatches either coming out before or after this video. If it's before, I'll link it in the description box. But yes, I'm putting this palette to the test because it's another one of those palettes where there's a lot of back and forth reviews. It's a really kind of dark, bold look. You could definitely tone it down with a nude lip. I've just been doing a nude lip for a while, so I wanted to do a really dark, vampy lip. But if you want to see how I got this look and learn some tips and tricks along the way, then let's get into the tutorial. So I'm here to just bring sexy realness to you guys right now. Normally I go out of my way to try to like color correct my face, hide all the, you know, things I've done to my face. But today I wasn't feeling the part, you know, because my skin has been wrecked, basically. I put a really strong benzoyl peroxide, like topical treatment thing on my face on kind of by accident, and it made my eyes swell, gave me a really bad rash on my face for almost a whole week. So yes, here I am. My skin is kind of back to normal, but I did have a nice picking session yesterday, so this is where we are currently. So I'm going to start out by priming my skin. I always like to use a hydrating primer all over my face. So I'm going to take this Makeup Forever Step 1 Hydrating Primer. I really like this one. And you know, a dab will do ya. Don't need much, even though that's kind of a lot. This isn't going to fill in any pores or anything like that. It's more so just kind of a moisturizing barrier between your face and all the things you're about to pile on top of it. And I always go in with a more like pore filling primer in my T-zone area, and since I went on a picking spree yesterday, I want to make sure that none of those areas turn to pimples. So I'm going to take my Cover FX Mattifying Primer with Acne. So I'm going to take my Cover FX Mattifying Primer with Acne. What? So I'm going to take my Cover FX Mattifying Primer with Anti-Acne Treatment. This one does have salicylic acid. This one does have salicylic acid. Just give up. It has some acid in it. Is for helping kind of prevent pimples or treating pimples. Benzoyl peroxide apparently does not work for my face. I used this primer yesterday and I didn't have any issues, so I'm just going to work this in my T-zone area. I typically don't do my brows on camera because it is always a struggle. This one is very easy to do and this one is a pain in the ass to do. But I'm going to try for you guys. It's just, you know, it's never a good time, basically. That's what I'm saying. This is the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. Absolutely love it. I already purchased a backup. And the one I'm using is in the shade number 2. I've been doing my brows a lot differently lately just because I don't want to spend so much time on them. In my last brow tutorial I used like a bunch of brow products, but I'm trying to just stick with just using this. To clean up these brows and make them look a lot better, I'm going to take my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I use the one in the shade Fair. I'll go ahead and cover up some of these spots while I'm at it. You know, just while I have the concealer out. Not like I'm ashamed or anything. What have I done? I went ahead and took that same concealer on my eyelids just to prime for eyeshadow, and then I'm going to set it with a skin toned eyeshadow. Now today I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty, what is this called? Now today I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty. This is the Textured Eyeshadow Palette. This is the Rose Gold Edition, and there is a shade in here that most of you may be able to use as setting your concealer or eyeshadow base, which is called Bay. However, I'm very pale, so I can't use it as, I actually used it as a transition shade the other day. So I'm going to go in with my Urban Decay Naked Basics palette. I'm just going to mix these two light matte eyeshadows. I'm just tapping this in. And this will just ensure that our other eyeshadows go on much smoother. So for my transitions today, I'm going to use this palette here, and I'm going to mix the shade Bay and Sandalwood together to try to make a lighter color. And for the transition shade, I'm going in with my largest fluffy brush. This is a Morphe M441. I'm just going to dust this into the upper crease area. So I pretty much start with the lightest shade closest to my brow bone, and I'll work down and get darker. Okay, next I'm going to go in with the shade Henna, which is a really nice kind of burnt orange color, and I'm taking my MAC 217, which is kind of a medium sized fluffy brush, to work into the crease. And now that I have mostly all the product off my brush, I like to turn it basically on its side and buff in between the transition shade and this crease shade. Give it a nice little happy blend. So now I'm going to take the shade Bossy, which is this beautiful dark kind of burgundy maroon shade, and I'm going to tap this on the lid. I do want to go for more of a smoky eye today, so we're doing dark on the lid. Whoa, that is very pigmented. That shade is legit. This one's really nice, and it is pigmented AF. Now I'm going to take a dense packing brush just to add a tiny bit of that up into the crease. That way it meets up with the orange that we put in the crease. So I'm taking the tiniest bit of that Bossy shade and blending right where they meet. And using a denser brush is just going to make sure you don't lose any of the intensity versus using a fluffy brush. I'm going to go back in with that MAC 217 with the tiniest bit of the Henna shade, like barely anything, just to, I don't know, just blend more. When in doubt, blend it out. I'm going to take a little bit of that Bossy shade just on my finger, just to re-tap on the very base of the lid to be sure it's really dark and intense right near the lash line. And I'm really afraid of this step because I haven't used any of these textured shadows yet, and I'm scared it's going to get a little out of hand. I know you're supposed to use them with your fingers. I do have nails, so I'm going to try to maybe use my little pinky finger because I don't want to do a full metallic lid. I just want to do like a little something on the center of the eyelid here, so we will see. I'm taking this shade Trust Fund, which is this really gorgeous, I don't really know. Is it like a coppery type shade? I feel like I use this color way too often on my channel. Yes. That is so pretty. I'm doing like tiny little motions of swiping, but mostly just tapping because I just want like a little wash. So I like to do the majority of my eyeshadow and things while my foundation is not on. That way if there's major fallout or any mistakes, it's very easy to clean up. But now I'm going to go in with my foundation, and I'm going to use the combo I have been using for like a month straight. I absolutely love it. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I've used the Too Faced Born This Way foundation for a while now. It's pretty amazing, works awesome with my skin. But now I've been mixing it in with this Josie Maran Vibrancy foundation. It does have some of the argan oil in it, so it's been really nice for the winter time. I just happened to buy this one in a shade too light and this one in a couple shades too dark. So I've just been mixing them together and I just fell in love with the combo. And what I've also fallen in love with is using the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops. This one is in the shade Moonlight. I've been carrying it in my makeup bag, so the packaging is wrecked. But I just add 1 drop of this into my foundation and it's amazing. The shade Moonlight is too dark for me to use as like a straight highlight on my face, so I just mix it in with my foundation and it gives just a really nice, excuse me, sirens. It just gives a really nice glow. So I start out with just a light amount of this, and I always use a damp beauty sponge for my foundation and my concealer. And I really don't add much foundation in these areas because I'm going to be adding all that highlight with concealer. Skin still has some texture on it from that rash. I'm going to try to overlook that right now. I'm again taking my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer to highlight and conceal my face, as I typically do. Just going in with that same beauty sponge. I'm going to tap all that in. To prevent any forehead creasing, I'm going to take my Coty Loose Airspun face powder and I'm taking a dry beauty sponge and just going to tap that onto my forehead. And as always, to set my under eyes, I'm just taking my Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder with a brush and just going to tap that in. And just make sure that you don't have any creases in your concealer before you tap in the powder, because then you're pretty much just setting the creases. And I just recently started using this brush for this step. This is the Morphe G3. This is the best. And to set the rest of the foundation on my face, I'm taking my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Powder Foundation. This one is in the shade 2. I'm not sure if it's going to be too light for my face or not, so fingers crossed. And now to give some dimension back to this pasty face, I'm going in with my Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. And this is a very light bronzer. If you've never tried it and you're pale, please try it. It'll change your life. Maybe that face powder was a little too bright for me, because this bronzer is looking harsh on me and it never does. I'm going to have to keep testing that Armani face powder because I've been stuck on my Urban Decay Naked Skin powder and I don't know. Forget that jawline. I'm not loving that Armani powder. Really sad, actually. Oh, I would normally go ahead and go on to highlight, but I can't decide on which one I want to use, so I'm going to go ahead, finish up the eyes. So I'm going to use the same colors I used as my transition shade, which is Bay and Sandalwood together on the lower lash line. I'm using this on a Morphe M134, which is just like a medium-sized, kind of pointed blending brush. I did decide to go a little bit more smoky, so I'm going to take this Marc Jacobs eyeliner and put it into my waterline and tightline as well. I cannot do that on camera, so I will be back. Okay, so I have some of that liner in my waterline, and I'm going to take that burgundy shade, Bossy, onto a tiny little flat brush, and I'm going to blend some of that eyeliner on the lower lash line. I'm going to take that brush that we used our transition shade on and just blow the very bottom out. I like to go down pretty low. It just helps open my eyes up. For my highlight, I'm going to be very high maintenance and use 2 of my highlight palettes from Anastasia. This is the Ultimate Glow palette, and I'm going to take this white shade, which I have been using heavily. I'm very pale, so I need a white highlight pretty much to mix with all highlights. And I'm going to mix this with the Anastasia Glow Kit. This is the one in the, I guess, shade, or I don't know, that glow. That glow one. And taking the shade Bubbly. And I'm using this on my Morphe MB23. I am just down with the Morphe brushes recently. I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to mix a healthy amount of both of those. Yep. Going to put this on the tops of my cheekbones. I kind of like to work it here on the temple, beside the brow. I know some people are like starting to get over the blinding highlights, but I'm still into it. I'm sorry. Still into it. I'm going to take the same mixture and spray the brush with some Fix Plus to hit my lip, because I like for my lip to be shiny. I don't understand how that got started, but it's a thing. I'm taking a smaller brush to hit the nose. And for blush, I'm going to kick it old school. I'm going with my trusty Milani Luminoso. This is like the best blush ever created, pretty much. When in doubt, Luminoso. And like I usually do, I'm going to add my baked beard with my Coty Airspun loose face powder again with this little Lorac flat brush thing. I'm also going to add some of that on the sides of the nose. I don't know why, I just seen some other people do it. And to slightly contour the nose, I'm going to take the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette again and mix this very kind of light taupey shade in the color Naked 2, which I used to use on my brows all the time. And I'm also going to mix it with just this like cream shade. So I went ahead and picked out my lashes, and while the glue is getting tacky, I'm just going to dust off my big beard with a Duo fiber brush. And I'm going to put on my lashes. These are the Koko lashes in the style Queen Bees. I'm sorry, I can't stop wearing them. And before I blend my fake lashes with my real lashes and add mascara, I'm going to go ahead and set my face. I finally re-upped on my MAC Fix Plus. This is my baby. I can't believe I lived without you as long as I did. And right on top of that, I'm going to add my Urban Decay all-nighter because Saturday night, I don't know if I'm going anywhere later. Probably not, but there's always a possibility. Using my L'Oreal Telescopic Perfuge. So I was obviously having some issues picking out my lip color today, but I think I decided to mix Kat Von D's Lolita with the ColourPop Ultra Matte Lip in the shade Lax or LAX or whatever it is. So the ColourPop one's much darker, so I'm going to work it on the outer edge, and in the center I'm going to work in Lolita. I ended up adding more LAX or Lax or whatever than anything because the other color made it a little bit too rosy. I actually think I might add some Jeffree Star Unicorn Blood in the center. I think that might work a little better. So to set down my brows, just like I showed you in that soap brow video, I'm going to be using soap. So if you don't know anything about that life, go check out my video. I might not have to buy a brow gel for a while. It's very nice. And to highlight my inner corner, I'm going to take this shade Moon Dust, which is just a satin, really pretty goldish color. So I'm just going to take some on this little brush and spray it with some Fix Plus and tap it right in the inner corner. But this is the final look, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys being patient with me while I got my videos, you know, back on track. I really like dark, dramatic makeup, so I really get into the holiday makeup. And if you guys have any specific requests on shades or palettes or anything like that you'd like me to use, just leave them in the comments. I always reply to you guys in the comment section. I also have some really exciting videos coming with some giveaways in the month of December, which I am so excited about. But again, thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. This one does have salicylic... Oh, really? This one does have salicylic what? Salicylic acne. Get your life together. This one does have salicylic acne. No. This one does have salicylic... This one does have salicylic... Just give up. And when going in with your transition shade, I'm just going to use the largest. I'm filming. What? I said I'm filming and I'm doing a talk through. Oh, you're so very loud. So loud. It's just going to beat a cigarette pack all loud and shit. Rude. And now to Too Faced Milkshake. What? Stop. Stop. My drunken Sephora hauls have just become my videos now. Like, that's just how I am. I'm not drunk. That's not what I meant. What? And this brow is so hideous today. So is that one. And to highlight my inner corner, I'm going to take the It felt weird for like the first 10 minutes, I'm not gonna lie. But if you want to learn how I got this really dark, vampy something, I don't know, using the new Hootie and the Blowfish. Off. And I brush my hair. I'm assuming you know how to do that. Off.